Hello friends, welcome to Miss Lori's Craft Room. Today we're going to do a giant sunflower. I just created this file and I think it's really great. I think it's going to be really fun. So this flower is, let me measure it, I forgot to measure it. It is about the big as my other ones. This one is about 18 inches by 18 inches. But this file, I created this file so that you could actually make even a bigger one. So each piece, I used 8.5 by 11 because that was all I had. I didn't have enough 12 by 12 to do it. So this one was cut with an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So this one measures about 8 by 10. So, and that made about an 18-inch flower. So if you can imagine, if you cut this, because this is a 12 by 12 mat, cut this using a 12 by 12, you're going to get a giant flower. I mean, just giant. So the file is definitely, oh, that's good. Just sorry, guys, I just dropped my ink on the floor and it made a mess. So you can size the file to what you want. So that's why it's cut in these pieces, because obviously you can only get 12 inches, go 12 inches wide. Okay, so let's get busy. Okay, so for this flower, you will need to cut, you'll cut 2 of the base file, or 3 or 4, whatever you want, okay? It really is up to you how many layers you want on your sunflower. On this one will end up with 3 because that's what we had, and I think that looks really good. And then on the centers, of course, it's going to be up to you. I love how full it is. We're going to add 1 more layer to this. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what I did was I just sized them down. Okay, so I will in the file, I haven't decided yet exactly how many I'm going to include in the file. I'll probably do quite a few because I like it. So now here's a tip. If you this works, a solid flower works if you only use the 8.5 by 11. Okay, this largest one is a 12 by, cut on a 12 by 12. If you're going to make a gianter sunflower using it at 12 by 12, you're also going to have to cut your black one, cut some of this file in black, okay? Because you can't get any bigger than 12 by 12. So I can't provide, of course, every single kind of idea you might come up with. So the file is just yours to manipulate. You're going to be able to manipulate it, okay? So let's get started. So you need at least, it just depends how much you're going to need. So I used 8 pieces of 8.5 by 11. I used 12 with these, okay? And then I used about 6 sheets of black. Okay, well, maybe 5 with the 12 by 12, okay? And then, if you can see, I did ink it. Of course, you don't have to do that. That's just me. I have to ink everything. I used Close to My Heart, Autumn Terracotta, and Gold Rush, okay? I'm using a dowel, a dauber. I might use this, I haven't decided, and I actually am using this jar, okay? And you'll see in a minute what I'm using it for. And then I'm also using my squishy pad. So if you don't have a squishy pad, which you can get in the Distress Toolkit, I'm going to show you guys using this Dollar Tree kneeling pad, garden kneeling pad, okay, instead of this, because this is much more readily available. Oh, the Distress Toolkit, you can get them at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and you need a hot glue gun. Okay, so we're going to make the flowers up. So what I do is I'm just using the edge of this, and I'm just going to run it on the edge because we just want to distress. I'm going to show you on this. Okay, you're just going to have it, you want them to curl up a little bit, and then you also want it to distress on here, so when you ink it, the ink will catch the ink and it will really give it that depth, okay? So I'm just going to, just up to you how hard you push. See how if I push really hard, it does a lot, okay? So, and you want to go towards the center because then that's going to make it curl up. You have to do this to all the petals, but you don't have to. You could actually, if you wanted to, you actually could also just curl them up like this. Okay, and that you could curl them up like that if you wanted to, but then you just have plain edges and you wouldn't get the good depth with your inking. Okay, and you actually can do this just, I'm kind of doing this backwards. Usually I probably do this once I have it all glued together, but I found that it was a lot harder to work with a big giant one because all the parts get in your way. So I do recommend doing all this inking, the distressing and the inking before you start gluing it together. And then that way, I guess I should have checked this to make sure that all my parts are going the right way. Okay, so that's done. Put that aside. Now I'm going to, couple things. You could either, couple ways you can do your inking. If you want it to be subtle, use a dauber. Okay, and you're just gonna rub it on the edges. See how it's just catching. It'll catch all those the parts that you distressed, and then it'll actually get darker on those. It looks really cool. I have a feeling I'm doing it wrong. You know, I'm doing it the right way. Okay. And then I'm going to I'm going to show you a different way you can do it. And as you can see, this is really fast. And I'm not, if you've seen any of my other sunflower video, I really ink those up like crazy. But on this one, I'm not. I'm just going to do a little bit. Because this is more about making the sunflower than it is inking. All right. Okay, so that was the Golden Rush. Okay, and then this is the Terracotta, which is darker. So I'm just going to use I'm not going to do, on that one I went in. This one I'm just going to do just the edge. I'm just going to catch it. See how it just gives it that depth on the edge? This is just adding a second color. See how pretty that is on the edge? I hope you guys are catching that. It's not shadowing. Maybe if I turn off that. All right. Yeah, sorry guys, this is kind of boring to watch me just quickly inking things. And as you can see, so it just went from boring to a lot more depth. Now, one thing you could do, instead of using the dauber, is you could take it in your hand. I'm going to show you on this one. Okay, you can take it in your hand and go like that. Okay, and you can see how much bolder a color it is. Now, of course, this is going to dry to a lot. It'll dry a lot lighter than this, but you can see that it's a lot bolder. It is going to dry, and it won't, and this is going to dry too. This will dry a little bit lighter than that. So it's really up to you. I mean, you could just really go put it down and really, really add a lot of depth to it. So this looks super messy right now, but when it dries, it will actually look really nice. So it's just really up to you what kind of look you're going for, okay? So the only hard part of this whole flower is just this, getting this right, okay? So it's not hard, but it was just, took me a little bit of math to figure this out. I'm not super good at math, okay? So the two that have, see, these two have tabs. Two of these have tabs, and two of these don't, okay? So the way I found, so you're gonna take, you're just gonna have to eyeball it, okay? So it doesn't have to be exact because it's not gonna, you know, it's a flower, okay? So you just want to kind of get these flowers to be the same far apart out here, okay? And so you're just gonna do it. And so I'm just gonna lift this up, put a little bit of glue. Now, let me give you a tip right here. If you got this and you were unhappy with how it turned out, if you get your hair dryer or your heat gun and just heat it up, and you could gently pull it away and it wouldn't rip your paper, okay? So that's just a tip for me, okay? So I'm just going to play with this for a minute because I want to find the easiest. See, so now this is too far away over here. So I know I need to smush it down some. And you can kind of see right here, there's a mark in the thing. So, okay. And then I'm just going to eyeball this to make sure. Okay, so now I'm going to lift this up and just hold on to it. You have a little play. You have a little bit of time to play with it. Not much. If you wanted to use white glue, you could do that, okay? If you felt uncomfortable with the hot glue. It'll just take you a little bit longer for it to dry. Okay? So, sorry, get rid of these. Now, these seams aren't going to matter because they're all going to be covered up. Okay? You're not going to have, you won't see those. Okay, so, see now on this last one, you're just going to have to just fudge it around until it gets to where it looks okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to lift this up with my fingers. Put some glue. Because remember, a lot of times, a lot of this stuff is going to be covered up. You're not going to see it. And no one's going to say, oh, look at that. She didn't do it exactly right. Because no one will even know or see it. All they're going to say is, wow, that's cool. Okay, so that is all that is. And you're going to do, you know, 2 or 3 things of that. Okay, so let's glue this together. All right, so this one is smaller because I made these and then I resized my file and then I did this. So we're just going to go with it, okay? So super simple. I'm just going to, and then I'm going to offset the petals. Okay, and smush it down. Okay. Now, this is even a different color because I ran out of the other yellow, okay? Okay. Now, one thing you could do if you wanted to, like, give more depth to this, you could use double-sided foam tape in between the layers and make it stand up. But with the center, you've got such a big center that it's really gonna be cool, okay? So let me show you how I did the centers. So for the bigger petals, now I used, what did I use? This. I used something a little fatter. And all I'm doing is I'm just putting it on it and I'm rolling it in. Okay, and how much you roll it in is completely up to you. Paper's great. It really does well, okay? See, like on this one, some of them didn't get rolled in very good, so I just need to roll it some more. Ah! Okay, so it's completely up to you how you make this look. So this is the small one that I haven't done yet. So when you're using something smaller, you want to use a smaller dowel if you're using a smaller. In fact, this is probably even too big. Okay. Now for this one even, I might even use, because it's so much smaller. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to use my tweezers. So there's lots of different ways you can get this to look. So if you want it to just be barely turned in like that, that looks really cool. Ah! All right. All right, so here it goes. So I'm really excited. I get to teach some giant flower classes at the Alabama Convention. I'm so excited about that. I've never taught in a situation like that, and I'm going to be very excited to get to do that. All right. Sorry, guys. This is really boring watching me do this. All right. Okay. Okay. So now let's glue it all together. So just, you know, and you're going to offset. Remember to offset so that, you know, your petals don't line up with each other. You want them to see how they're between each other. Okay, it's a little hard to see that because it is black, but if you're worried about getting it centered, put it in the middle, lift up half of it. Okay, I should have just done that, show you guys how to do that. Sorry. There's that. Tell you, this is way better, easier than the last sunflower I made. If any of you have seen my other sunflower one where it keeps getting away from me, I definitely prefer this. I think I'm going to use this one from now on for any sunflowers I make. All right. So you can see on mine that it's not, I didn't go all the way small into the middle, but you can do that. Just keep making this piece smaller and smaller. Okay, and cutting them smaller if you want to go all the way to the center. Okay? Okay. And then you're just going to line it up and center it. And then just push it down. Okay. If you guys don't know the tip about you getting rid of the strings for your hot glue, you can use your hair dryer and it will melt them, or your heat gun, okay? So look at that. Isn't it adorable? I just absolutely love it. So I hope the file, the link to the file is going to be in the description, and I hope you guys have a fabulous day. God bless you.